Hey guys, so welcome back to the Smith Hero YouTube channel. As you guys know, we did the Mark 1 TDI swap, and this thing's been great. I've had no issues with it. Drove about 8, maybe even 900 miles back and forth to work and all around. And then on Monday, this past Monday, it just shut off on the highway, which was really scary. Got it towed home. What I've found is that the fuel gauge is above reserve. It's like an eighth to a quarter of a tank, at least it says. So I've been up here trying to look at stuff, dive into it, and I noticed that this fuel line's empty, which kind of indicates there's no fuel. Basically, this is a thing to tell you guys, just check the easiest thing. There's no codes in the system. It's got to be just out of fuel. I pulled the fuel filter out to see if maybe there was something stuck, some sediment or whatever. And so here's the fuel filter, and here's the drain, and that's how much fuel is in it. It's only up to about there on the Gatorade bottle, and look how big this filter is. So there's no fuel in the car. When I took it out and drained it, I did go over here. This is the fill line. This comes directly from the tank, and I've been pumping and pumping away, and I pumped for a good while, and you can see no fuel has come up. I think what I'm going to be doing is dropping the tank. I have a new fuel level sensor here. Maybe you guys can get the part number, but I'll link the actual part number in the description for you guys. I'm going to put all this stuff back together. Then I'll meet you guys back at the back of the car where we're going to start dropping the tank. There are a decent amount of hoses and stuff. So return, feed, vent, and I think there's one more vent up here. They all kind of head that way out the side. It's all in the side of the bed. Doesn't look too easy, so hopefully everything will just come out right there. I mean, then it just kind of looks like 13 and unplug the wire, and I think we'll be set. And nothing. We just got to keep getting these hoses off. Now all these hoses over here, like the vents and the fill, this is some crazy looking stuff. It goes into a quarter. You cannot get it from the backside here. So I'm pretty confused as to how I'm gonna get these off, but we'll figure it out together. This one vent hose right here, it like shakes in there, so I wonder if it just goes into this port. I don't know how it's gonna be. I took this clamp off, so in theory all we gotta do is take these two 13s out, pull the gas tank down, and like yank it out, and then maybe it'll come out. We'll see. You want the plug to continuously face the same direction, so the new one, just remember that it goes like that. But you can see it's in decent condition. It's not horrible. This is one of the vents. It's kind of weird. I think I'm just gonna cap it off up there, but I know the new one does not have that. You get like a little hammer or a chisel, and you just whack it a few times. Alright, so let's see what it looks like. Doesn't look terrible. It's just old. So probably just had a dead spot in it. Probably nothing serious. It's not rusty. It's got like a little like baffle thing inside, and then the pickup tube is inside of there, and it goes all the way out to down here, right there. I think it's fine enough, honestly, that I don't have to rush treat anything. I can just put the new sensor in, you got to put these in the same way. Here's the new version. You can see it's much different. The plug's straight up and down versus on the side, and it doesn't have a ball. It has like a big different style float. This plug was facing the back, so that means that the float is facing that way. So we need to ensure that when we tighten it, the float is going to be that way. So on this new one, the plug will be facing that way. Stop there. So I believe we're good. This hose right here, that was going to the top of the fuel sender, which we don't have anymore. It's like a little vent. So we cut it. I ran a 7mm bolt in. A 6mm was a little too small. And we put some sealer on it. When I fill this up, fuel was coming out, so I haven't filled it up again. But I think what was happening is this hose right here, these are these like really hard like vinyl hoses. They're really weird. But anyway, so it goes through this hard pipe right here through into the chassis. But I'm assuming that that's the leak because like the hose just moves like this. I don't think it should do that. So I'm assuming that this is broken somewhere in there, but I'm just gonna put it on for now. If I have to go on the outside, take that all apart and look in, I will. But as of right now, I just put some grease on all the threads for the straps. So Jamie grinded away most of the rust she could, and then just put rust treatment on it. Hopefully it'll make it last a little while longer. Put some silicone, I mean like spray lube, silicone lubricant in there and on this. So we can put this on and put it on the filler neck. And we're just gonna do the same thing where we just lift it up, set it onto the one arm, and then crank it up, push it on, and then once we get it high enough up, I'll be able just to crank it up and then we'll put the straps on. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. This is the only thing I think is an issue because you can see the plug's different. This is the only one you can get for these cars, and obviously it's different, so you have to bend the tabs or break them. I'm just gonna break them. It does only go on one way though. Cut them off. See if this will actually stay. If it doesn't want to stay, I might have to glue it on.
You're gonna have to glue it.
Yeah. So that sucks, but what I'll do is I'm just gonna put some silicone inside here. Just obviously don't put it in the pins. There's no real other way of doing this. Sometimes you gotta do things you don't like. So see, it's all around the outside, it's not on the pins. And now I can just push it in, and hopefully this will stay here forever. Hopefully this doesn't hit the body of the truck. I don't think it will because of the bed, but in the Mark 1 Rabbit over there, it's this same way, and unfortunately it bumps into the cover. Just be aware when you get this that it fits all Mark 1 gas tanks, but the plug is going to be an issue for a lot of people. You just got to figure it out. We have the straps hanging down now just because we're rust treating some more stuff, but it was really easy to get back in. Like I said, we just kind of lubed this up, pushed the filler on, and then this hose up here was a little tough, but put that on. So we'll just tighten these clamps, and after she's done rust treating the stuff, we'll finish putting the straps on, tighten them up, then put the level sensor plug in, and then this will be done, totally done under the car. We'll bring the car down, truck down, and we'll check and see what the level sensor's reading. We'll know it's 100% empty, and then we'll take note of it, where it is, and we'll fill it up. Let's see what the fuel gauge is reading now that we're back on the ground. Key on. All right, awesome. So it's actually reading right. If you guys remember in the beginning of the video, I showed you it was way up there. Now that we know it's too low, it's way down there, we'll fill it up and see where it goes. Don't be alarmed. I went and got it. It's diesel. Let's see what 2 gallons did. Back from the future again. What I have found, why I wasn't getting the reading, I never took the time to hold them up next to each other. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the same for all of them, but this is a rabbit pickup. All right, say these are at the same angle, right? Look how much lower that is. That's like 2-3 inches lower. What I'll be doing is bending this to match that as good as I can get it. It's unfortunate, but I've already put fuel in it. I might drain the fuel back out of it and then try to get a 0 reading, but even that on its own is gonna be hard. This is just gonna be, I think I'm just gonna eyeball it. That'll be as good as it gets. Bend this one as much as you can, because you absolutely cannot just swap over the parts, because you can see they're 2 totally different readings. This one is up and down, this one's horizontal. I laid these down next to each other, and where this had a bend, it used to end right about here and curve over. I just took the bend completely out of it. I held a plier here and a plier there, and I just bent it until it was straight. I think it's acceptable. Unfortunately, like I said, I'll never have a definitive answer on it of how it will be, but I think it's close enough. Draining the 4 gallons of fuel into this 5-gallon bucket. So this will be a minute. Got a nice steady stream coming out. It's nice and clean too, so that's always good to see. There they are. You can see the bend. Here's where the other bend was, so I bent it straight. I think this will work well. And you can also see that it wasn't even wet. You can do this without pulling the whole tank. So I got it out this much, but I mean, you might as well pull the tank so you can see rust or anything like that, and also so you don't have stuff falling in. But since I already did it earlier, this time it just made sense just to leave the tank in place. Everything's back together yet again. Nothing like having to do a job twice. My gas can was 2 gallons, and I filled them both up at the gas station with 2 gallons of diesel and then another 2 gallons of diesel. So it was a total of 4 gallons. Now, when I dumped the 5-gallon bucket, the 5-gallon bucket was only about half full. I got 1 full 2 gallons that I put back in, and I then on the second time I only got about 0.2 of a gallon. So that means there was about 1.8, 1 3/4-ish gallons of fuel that were still in the tank, because when I dropped the tank, I dropped it and it was on an angle like this, so all the fuel went to this backside over here, and then when I pushed it back up like that, fuel started coming out, and I just put the lines on and was done with it. So I'm pretty sure we got a really good reading. So let's see what we are now with the full 4 gallons in the tank. You can see we're climbing right now. At 4 gallons, we should be just underneath half. And I mean, it looks like we're right about there. I'd call that a major success. So now I'm basically an expert with these gas tanks or fuel tanks, since I had to drop it twice today. So now we can go back to driving this, putting more miles on it. I did stop today and I went up to MK1 Madness, and I met a guy, and I actually bought some wheels for the truck. So here's a little sneak of them. They're gonna be super cool. I think they're gonna fit great. And then that's gonna allow us to lower the front end. And then in the back, I got a really cool mod that I know a lot of people want to do with these trucks, and a lot of people are kind of nervous to do because you have to get special parts. We are doing a disc brake conversion. You don't really need a disc brake conversion, but the #1 reason, when I got this done, you guys know I took it outside to the concrete pad and I tried to do a burnout, and it pulled right through the drum brakes. So as you can imagine, I'm putting discs on the back, I want to be able to do a nice rowdy burnout in the truck, rolling coal, blowing tire smoke. That's what I want to do. So we need disc brakes to lock the rears up. That's coming soon. We have a bunch of mods to the exterior of the car that we're going to do, and we're going to start rolling through them with you guys. We have a plan to get rid of this ugly black stripe down the side. So if you guys like what you saw today, please give a like, comment, and subscribe. This truck is going to be plenty reliable for many years to come. So thanks again for watching, guys.